Newsfirst Newsline with Faraz Shaukatali.
And a wonderful morning to you. Wet again out there, and so be careful when you're driving. But this is Newsline, live as always from the Newsfirst studios in Dawson Street in Colombo, and broadcasting on TV1, which of course is a proud member of the Capital Maharaja Group. Now then, in March 2015, Newsfirst initially started reporting on what turned out to be Bondgate, the absolute scam in which this country's coffers were robbed by a group of people, led by various people. When News first raised this issue, we were met with a sea of apprehension, criticism, and that we were not impartial, but we were partial. Well, the events that turned out, we raised the question of a conflict of interest scenario. Very unfortunately, the minister in charge of the subject of the central bank, also known as the Prime Minister, Mr. Wickremesinghe, chose to defend the governor, Arjuna Mahendran, saying that he couldn't be removed, he couldn't be sacked, he couldn't be put on leave, or he couldn't do anything of the sort. What happened was that in March 2016, approximately a year after the first bond in February 2015, a far greater scandal took place. All the time, Team Newsfirst reported on the losses that were accruing and accumulating to the people of Sri Lanka. And we kept saying that the EPF funds were at grave risk. Yesterday, in open court, the public, the nation, were able to assess the extent of the treachery that surrounds this great robbery, for want of a better word. During the proceedings yesterday, various names are mentioned, but what was most important to all of us was the absolute precise knowledge that Arjuna Aloysius had, and he was instructing the CEO of his company, giving him that information, knowing very well that a bond auction was to be held in a couple of days thereafter. The entire nation was privy to that because this happened in open court. What also happened was that Team Newsfirst's efforts at reporting the truth on behalf of the people of this country, whose conscience had been aroused because of the extent of the scandal, our reporting was vindicated. It's not a victory in that sense of the word, but it is a victory for a free press, a free media, and of course we acknowledge that it is this government that made that all possible. A return to what we already had. It's not something that they created themselves, but of course we know what it was like before, and we know what it is like now. For whistleblowers who joined us, and for everybody who made that happen, we must say, well done, because every component, every whistleblower, every bit of information has become very, very necessary. And it is a privilege and an absolute wonder to be part and parcel of the new good governance that this entire country is seeking, and accountability and transparency thrown in for good measure. We will, of course, we have a virtually permanent reporter on duty at the Presidential Commission of Inquiry, Zulfikar Farzan, who's diligently reporting. I think he's on his 10th notebook now. And perhaps he too will write a book. Who knows? But do stay tuned into reports from Newsfirst on TV and on radio, on Sirius, on Shakti, on TV1, and on our radio networks, because we bring you News First. We report, you decide. And on that note, it's time to introduce part 2 of Newsline this morning. We have a very interesting guest who's turned up very early because he was on Pathikada. And we are honored and delighted, both at the same time, to have with us the Inspector General of Police of Sri Lanka, Mr. Pujit Sundra. Very good morning to you.
Very good morning.
And thank you, IGP, for being here.
Thank you.
Very early start, because Mr. Bandula's program starts at a very ungodly hour. But you're here. Well done. Thank you. 151 years of police service, and we noticed that policing in Sri Lanka is coming out of various sort of dark ages. Are you happy as IGP?
Yes, of course, it's a challenge. For us, whatever said and done, it's 150 years completing by a government institution is a great achievement.
Of course it is.
So there are lots of ups and downs. Of course, we are going with that. Now it's also day by day, it's various type of different challenges. So it's up to us to face the challenge and to assure the security and maintaining the strict law and order. That's our task.
And when you, by and large, of course, Sri Lanka is a far safer place now. And people can go about in the day, in the night, wherever.
Yes.
Rather safely, with the confidence. I think more than anything else, it's the confidence that they're able to do. What about these? Are you worried at all about? Do we have some reports coming in from time to time from the north that there is a little bit of stormy waters? Is it stormy waters or is it a storm in a teacup?
A little bit simple incidents, because you know why, the background, if we have get to know about the exact background, what it was for the last about more than 30 years. Now it's almost about 9 to 10 years after this terrorism problem. But the thing is this, now still there, we have to think and we'll have to exactly assess the situations there, the mentality of the public and the so-called youth who got involved with the terrorist activities. Have all they been rehabilitated? No. Then the arms and other explosives which have been used for years and years, lots of number of weapons and all, they are still there. The mentality, the theory that they have studied and the way of life that they have been led to go on for years and years. So these things to be considered. So there are some other foreign powers also, some other organizations like diaspora and all, some sort of things are misleading the facts. So time to time, of course, get various issues, but only thing it's not a serious thing. But I can remember the recent times we have got a couple of groups operating in breaking the law and harassing the people and all. Of course, I noticed by myself personally, and that I have decided on my own to address that issue in a personal way when they studied that, and then spoke to our people, the armed forces assistants and all. Then authorities were summoned and explained as to what we should do at the moment. And we have got our civil organizations, that's called the community policing committees.
Right.
These committees are very helpful to us. Of course, they're always with us, and I explained to them, the leaders were summoned. And after that, of course, special measures have been decided, and we operated with the STF and with the assistance of the armed forces. So we got the fully control of the situation there. Now it's under control.
That's good. I'm happy to hear that from no less a person than the IGP of our country. I want to ask you, recently we had a convention that was held in Australia to do dealing with the Bali procedure and so on, to do with torture. I know that we've had, over the years, we've had a number of concerns about torture and torture basically on people conducted by the police against suspects and so on. Can you comment what level of torture is there? Is there torture now? What's the line? What's your position on torture?
This is with regard, as a country, of course, we have agreed in the international conventions when the torture concerns the United Nations. So we'll have to go on with that.
Right.
So if there's any other, we have noticed certain instances where the torture had been taken place where the public has been harassed. So it's some sort of issue by issue. It's the individual issues. So the issues have been addressed again separately, and the responsible officers concerned will be definitely dealt with, and have already been dealt with.
Right.
So it's going on with that nature.
So I'm happy that you're being upfront and open. because you're not saying no, it doesn't happen and stopped at that. You're saying that where it has happened, you're taking action.
Exactly.
And so hopefully by example,
Yes.
They will, this whole business of engaging into torture to extract confessions and so on will hopefully disappear.
Exactly. Because we have taken action about the seriousness of that torture issue, how it comes to the, not like on the those days, of course, now what's the public attitude regarding that, and the international pressure and the agreement that we have signed, and accordingly the police officers in bulk have been summoned to the police station, all responsible leading police officers as batch by batch, and they have been exactly briefed as to what should be done and how to get the things done, inquired into the inquiries and the investigations, and without getting the torture involved. And they have been told specifically. So almost over now we have completed the DIG legal and other higher police officers, selected police officers, committee of police officers have been entrusted to the task, and they have done it very successfully. I personally got involved with that. So officers should know what it is and how to get the things done without getting torture involved.
Wonderful. The other matter that we want to ask you, that I'd like to ask you, is what is it like for the police, for the average policeman? What are the conditions like for him or her, for the average policeman, for the constable out on the street, who's perhaps doing community policing, or the traffic police, whoever, out on the roads there? What are the conditions like for them? Are they getting paid enough money? Are you looking after their medical needs? Are they, I don't know. Tell me.
That's right. It's a good question. For us, how we were, how the police officers were in the early stages has to be seriously considered. The issue has been going on for years and years, and because of the national requirement, of course, we were under the Defence Ministry at that time, right throughout. I think I can remember some time back, it was again taken a policy decision by the then government, came into the power and got a separate ministry for the police. This is normally it's worldwide, all the other countries, of course, the police is under the separate ministry, like Home Affairs or Public Administration, whatever, Interior, Law and Order, whatever. So, but again, because of the requirement, because that was put into the Defence Ministry. But this time the government has taken a clear policy decisions. We have been repeating the request for this thing. Of course, we have to be identified as a separate officials. So, maintaining law and order has to be separated. So, this was taken into consideration with the required changes in the Constitution at the 19th Amendment. Of course, we have been given a separate ministry, and with the introduction of the National Police Commission and the separate ministry secretary and there's Honorable Minister. So it's a little different now. And other thing is, departmental aspects of the Sri Lanka Police has been taken out. Now it is called as the Sri Lanka Police. So other than that, of course, it's a long time need of the poor salary of the policemen in all ranks, right from IGP to the constables. And this has been seriously considered, and I'm very thankful to the President, and especially our Honorable Prime Minister and our Subject Minister, Mr. Sagar Ratnaik, had taken a keen interest and taken these measures in the with the authorities in, several times, and they argued and they have agreed and implemented the thing. And now the 40% salary increase have been given to the police officers in the history of the police and history of the Sri Lankan government service as well. Not such increase has been given earlier. So it's one way of really giving a relief. But there are other aspects as well, like the infrastructure facilities, the buildings, vehicles, and other equipments to be fulfilled. Of course, we are doing that, but there's a long way to go. So we have a master plan how to get the things done in the development of the Sri Lanka Police. With the, when we compare with other police organizations in the countries, and what type of things to be changed, and what type of recruitment to be done, training.
What's the level? What's the strength of the police in terms?
It's altogether with our own special task force. It's about around 85,000 now. And we are as a policy. Of course, the government has taken a decision to increase the police stations also to number 600. At the moment, earlier it was in the 432 police station. Now we have gone up to 486. So the main purpose is to give a better service, quick service, and a convenient service to the public, for them to place their grievances in the shortest way and to have their grievances addressed.
In these sort of hot spots, like let's say the former conflict areas,
Yes.
How is community policing doing?
For us, it's a good question. The thing is this: now the community policing came into effect in a very strong way after the terrorism problem, because we needed the public assistance.
Yeah.
So we decided to have some sort of a community relation policy.
Right.
So in that way, we have got 14,022 Gram Sevaka divisions in the entire country.
Yeah.
So that's where the ground level.
Yeah.
So every Gram Sevaka division, we have decided to have a community policing committee. It's a volunteer committee.
Right.
We include the respectable people in that area selected by the villages themselves.
I see.
So we have decided to have a president out of them, then the vice president, secretary will be obviously the Grama Sevaka, and the co-secretary and the treasurer. These are the office bearers. Other than that, there are 20 other people, male and female. There is no specific required qualification for that. Only thing is that their willingness and their ability. So they can get together without getting hindered without getting disturbance their day-to-day activities, whether it's a business or job or agriculture or whatever. They can get together and discuss what's happening in the particular area. But main thing is they talk, they do things only with the main points. The topics always in any forum is always the national security.
Right.
Second is the maintaining of law and order. That is the prevention and solving of crimes.
Right.
Another thing is to stop all the corrupt practices.
Right.
So these are the three topics that whenever in any forum they have to talk, they have to do the things.
Right.
That's how we're going on. And in that aspect, of course, I can tell you as IGP, it's very successful.
Right.
And we have introduced a program also. They meet, they discuss, and after that there will be I just thought of having some sort of a very practical project.
Right.
For them to get together with the police and with the advisory committees in each and every police station. You have got 10 members of advisory committee.
Yeah.
They also will get together with the other government officials, retired people, and they all go together as a team, and then some sort of a project has to be there. So I got selected 6 subjects for us, which is very, very relevant and which is connected to the direct context with the day-to-day life of the people. That is religion, culture, health, education, sports, and Samadhana campaign. Those are the 6 topics.
Right.
So I introduced these things because I have that experience in the other levels when I was working as SP in various places, SP division, DIG, and CDG.
You seem actually, from reports, that you seem to be rather passionate IGP on matters that you believe should be the way. I'm going to ask you a question, but I don't want you to take it the wrong way.
Yes.
Because on our program we do ask questions that really do matter and what people are talking about. And one such thing is when you say your passion for religion and so on. We know that you are passionate about meditation.
Yes.
Is it true that that this is an imposition across any religion, or what's the rule? Tell me. I read all sorts of things here. Some people say, how can an IGP say, go for meditation? I'm an atheist. I have no religion. I'm a Muslim. I'm Christian, or whatever. Just can you clarify that?
It doesn't matter for us whether people belongs to whatever the religious they belongs to. There's irrespective.
Right.
Then, as you said now, a person, I don't have a religion. Doesn't matter.
Right.
It's a mental exercise. It's a mental exercise.
Okay.
Applicable to all the religions, whether it's a Buddhism or Hinduism or Catholicism or Islamic or whatever.
Yeah.
And if you don't have religion, doesn't matter, they can do the meditation.
Right.
But that's for the mental exercise.
Right.
To have some sort of a strong mentality. Mentality in order.
Right.
And the refreshing mentality.
Right.
Because then mentality and the physical, it is both sides of the Arogya Paramala.
Right.
The best profit in the world is the healthiness,
Yes.
the mental and physical.
Right.
So if the person, whoever it is,
Yeah.
the government officer, businessman, or media man, or politician, or whoever it is,
Yeah.
if he is in a very strong position when it comes to mental and the physical fitness,
Yeah.
of course, day-to-day life is very easy for him. Start with the great respect, or start with a good bouncing,
Right.
and to go on with the day-to-day activities. That's what I need.
Right.
I wanted the policeman, normally policemen are there to have the others' grievances.
Yeah.
So for that, they have their own grievances as well.
Right.
It doesn't matter where they come from, their own residences, their official residences or barracks or whatever. They start the day, normally the police officers, like the government officers, mostly every day early. We have early birds.
Yeah.
Every day early in the morning, 4:30. By about 4:30 we get up. So it's another fine, fantastic, wonderful day.
Yeah.
So with that mental day, they had to get on. And after the days, when you start getting on, get ready with the work, and when you come to the workplace, it will be a little bit of tight schedules.
Yeah.
Come from that place. So the work has to be with the very stable mentality. So that was my point. Then I got the government regulation into that.
Right.
Sometime ago, number of years ago, government public administration ministry has issued a circular that every government institution to start the work every day at 8:30 in the morning is a ruling, is a circular that the national anthem has to go on and they have to sing it.
Yeah.
So to sing the national anthem, we have to in a proper order.
Indeed.
You can just walk, you can just eat, you can just watch the TV and
You must do
have
it with some respect.
Exactly.
Right.
With all the prestige.
Right.
So what I wanted was that to happen. So
Right.
I put it that in a very practical way. So then for us in the 150 years celebrating, of course it's my concept, and I made a request for the high officers and outsiders as well. Fortunately, these the famous singer, the Sujata Attanayak and Ratna Vijay Singh came to our assistance on their own. This voluntary contribution. The result was a fantastic police anthem, Suraksha.
Yeah.
So I want that to also sing by everybody. And like with respect to the national anthem, the sub-inspectors and above all have to, if they are in uniform, they have to put the cap and they have to put the salute. Likewise for the police anthem. And then after that, what I wanted was to get a few minutes meditation. Just think about yourself and others. And this breathing exercise.
Yeah.
Inhaling and outhailing.
Yeah.
Just think about it. It's a couple of minutes. It doesn't affect the entire police work at all because
So
others are there on duty.
So it's free of interference. There's no religion or any other communal or whatever issues.
Not at all for us.
Right.
I never said it belongs to the Buddhism. It belongs
There
to
you go.
Catholicism.
You heard it.
Anybody
from
in any
himself.
religion,
Right.
that they on their religion,
Yeah.
they can do the meditation.
Right.
There's no hard and fast.
I mean, it certainly indicates to us and to our listeners, I suppose, that there is this certain sense of humaneness or humanity in you, and that's a straightforward, upfront answer. So thank you. In terms of controversy, IGP,
Yes.
do you regret some of the things? I mean, we're not into yellow journalism here, okay? So you know what I'm talking about. And do you regret any of these things that you have, as much as you are a human being, as much as anybody else? And so do you regret some of the things that you have been accused of or that has happened to you whilst when you have been IGP? Do you regret?
Yes. I was a little bit regret, but my intention was so clear.
Right.
And I'm so sorry about the exaggeration of the publications,
Yeah.
whether in the electronic or the printed media,
Yeah.
had not the correct issue in the correct way.
Right.
It has happened, but it was not happened in such a manner
Right.
where it has been considered as a serious issue.
Right.
I just wanted to implement my instructions and just to check whether the officers are adherent to my instructions.
Right.
When it's not there, I was just a little bit too much. I agree with that, but it didn't go to that extent.
Right.
To harassing the people, assaulting the people, sexual threatening to the female. No, it's not that.
No.
There are certain things inside the organization as well. That's people with the ulterior motives I don't have any personal grudge with anybody for us.
So have you sort of tapped the chap on his shoulder and had a cup of tea?
Not tapped. I just touch him. I just drag him here.
No. What I'm saying is, after that, did you tap him on the shoulder and say, "Look, no hard feelings"?
Yes, after that.
Let's have a cup
I
of
talked
tea.
to them, talked to the officials,
Right.
and I'm so sorry about it, and because I just wanted to
I
correct.
agree. You must be the only person of any form of authority who's come on this program and who's tendered an apology. You have our absolute admiration for that. Thank you for that clarification. We can now get on with it, because otherwise these viewers will inundate our phones and ask me why I didn't ask. And I will ask. You've got his response, and he's been upfront and open. Nothing quite like that. So let's ask you the next question. What are the challenges that this country faces from a police perspective?
It's a good question. Challenges. What the people's expectations for us today. Earlier, they were the people of this country, with not only the north and east, but the area. People were just trying to be alive without being killed, without getting caught with a landmine or some other blast or suicide mission. That was the fear. Life and death. It's just a fear. Now it's not that. So people, just like the birds or we kept in a cage for hours and hours or days, trying to get the maximum out of the freedom. They have a big demand. They have a big demand of freedom. What they want is, the masses wants is to have the peaceful living in their respective places, where they enjoy their lives with their kith and kins. What they earn have to be consumed, and with the safety of all, just to live, residing in their residences. Then whenever they want to go out, whether it's a pilgrimage or the picnic with their relevant parties, to go peacefully and come back. They don't want meet with an accident, amputated legs and smashed up, fatal accidents and highway robberies, to face the highway robberies and all. So this is the demand. So we'll have to think for us now, are we in a position to cater this demand? It's true that the police was doing traditional policing about 150 years ago. That's the requirement of the English. That time changes time to time with the requirements of the society. And then the insurrection taken place in 71 changed the policing to the operational side. And everybody was concerned about the security. This became very worse when the LTT came to the effect. And now the war is over. So we have to cater this requirement. The new recruitment, new training methods, the public relations skills, concepts, the changes of organizational structures, and we are taking place. But still for us, we can't just say we finish all these things and come and serve the public. You know, it's the day-to-day requirement has to be attended. We have to address their requirement. So it's a challenge. So we do it. On
behalf of our network, on behalf of our group, we have great admiration for the efforts that are being made by the Sri Lanka Police, and under your leadership. Thank you very much, and thank you for being on Newsline. We really do appreciate your presence.
Thank you for us.
And good luck. And the network is always here to carry forward any messages that you want to put out there. And that's about it on Thursday, the 7th of September, 2017 on Newsline. If you really want some entertainment, we suggest that you make your way to Halsdorf and follow the proceedings, where you can see another government department, the Attorney General's Department, in full flow, upholding the rule of law and trying to get to the bottom of things. Great service there by the Attorney General's Department in terms of the bond issue. All you need is your ID card to get in there, and you can follow and see what they're doing instead of just looking at social media, which is important. But anyway, go in there and have a look, and you'll see that you, the public, are getting value for money from the Attorney General's Department. Take care, God bless, and that's it.
Newsfirst.